Happy with that win. It was a hard-fought one. Obviously, when you're playing a long stretch like that, double overtime, you want to come out there with the win because there's a lot that's going into it at that point. It wasn't perfect, but the effort was really there. I thought we stayed tough. I thought we stayed together. Had too many turnovers, gave up some offensive rebounds on some missed free throws by them. They made some timely threes, particularly in the overtime. It just felt like every time we were starting to stretch it, they banged one in. And, it didn't deflate us. We came down and got big buckets. Obviously, Kamari shot the ball really well from behind the arc. Torrey had some big rebounds, but Chris Loof, I thought, just stayed tough trying to guard 23. Man, he is a load. I said this earlier. The new Titans coach needs to look at that sucker because he is big and strong and tough. He got great hands. He's just very different because he's 6'3" or 6'4" at 275, 280. I mean, how often does anybody guard somebody like that? And it just puts strain on your defense. Do you double him? Do you not? But I just thought our guys kept fighting, just found a way to get a win, particularly coming off the disappointing loss the other night down at La Tech. You got to not let one disappointing loss carry over for 2 or 3 days, and now all of a sudden one becomes two. Questions?
Sean was instrumental late in regulation and overtime, and then you turned to Ja in the second. What was that? What was behind that decision?
We just thought he was gassed. We were like, man, he's played about 8 or 9 minutes straight here, and we needed somebody we felt like that could get downhill. Obviously, Ja was a little bit more rested at that point because of Sean being on the floor. And with his body and his strength, we just felt like both teams are in the double bonus. We can get downhill off some plays and some actions, and he was able to do that. Got the and one that fouled 23 out. So it was really that. I thought Sean was playing well. He had just played like the last 3 or 4 minutes of regulation in the entire first overtime. So it just looked like he was a little tired. And the way he was playing in that second overtime, we just had to ride it.
Joe, what were you told going into that second overtime?
I wasn't told that it's time to go in. Like you said, I was okay with sitting because Sean was doing what he had to do. I feel like I had my best game today, but I was okay. If I had to sit both overtimes, I'd have been okay. I've been a great teammate. But yeah, it's time to go in. I just had to do what Coach wanted me to do.
And it felt like you're approaching that second overtime. You're just a lot more aggressive with your takes. I mean, it just felt like that moment was just made for you in that second. You scored 7 of the 12. Talk about your mentality in a big game like this.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't feel like I had my best performance. As soon as the second overtime starts, Logan and Coach, they drop a play for me. So, like, their confidence in me and my teammates' confidence just lifted me up as well. So it was easy to just go in there and be me.
Mar, are you made for games like this?
Of course.
Talk about your play. I mean, almost every shot but one came from beyond the arc. Obviously, you felt comfortable there. Talk about how you felt with your shot today in this game.
I just felt like I was just taking what the defense gave me. I felt like I hit my first. I think I hit my first one, the first 2 or something like that, and I just had it going in the first half. I hit 4 of them in the first half. I just felt like this is what my team needs me to do. It needs me to stretch the floor and be confident in my shot and make threes. That's what I felt like I did.
Does the celebration have a name?
Nah, I seen it on TikTok. I started doing
it. Coach, kind of draw back to the Louisiana Tech game and winning this game. And I'm not here to make excuses for anybody, but it just goes to show how hard it is to win in this league, top to bottom, road, home. How big is it to come out of games like this when you found yourself down late in the second?
Yeah, we told our team all the way back to the summer that last year we had 16 games that were decided by 2 possessions or less. We were 11-5 in those games. What does your end of year look like if you're able to be 13-3 in those really tight ones? But also on the flip side, what is it if you're 8-8 in those tight ones? So it's important to be good down the stretch in these close games. And not be so disappointed after that one the other night. Obviously, we let a big lead get away, got beat. You can hang your head a little bit, and now all of a sudden one becomes 2. And to your point, it's hard. the teams are good. And, you know, we got a tough stretch coming up at Jack State, and then, you know, Liberty and Western come here. So it was important.
Kamari, I was talking to you about this on the court, but I could just tell in your eyes and your energy, especially in the first and the second overtime, that you knew that this team could do it. Speak about the confidence and that, not that you just have in yourself, but also in the team and the guys around you.
I just feel like recently we've just been talking about being us, you know, at all times, no matter what. Like I kind of said before, no matter if we in double OT, we down 20 or we up 20, we always going to be us. We're always going to play to our standards. That's why I feel like I knew. That's what I was confident in. I wasn't really, you know, win or loss. I knew we was going to play like us. And, you know, fortunately, we got the win out.
Coach, what do you think a win like this says about this team and what it can show that you guys can do later in the season, especially once you get to that tournament time?
You know, I think it, for one, shows how good Missouri State is too. You know, and they were tough. You know, they shot it better than their percentages say they have on the season. Shot 44% from three. Didn't turn it over. We were -7 in the turnover battle. So, you know, we just told our guys, like, it's got to be next play. Don't let it turn over. Or, you know, if you're having turnovers because of your attitude or your energy, that's one thing. Guys are going to turn it over, miss shots. The other team's pretty good too. You know, they give them scholarships too. So they're going to make some shots. Don't hang your head. Keep battling. You know, I do like where this team can go because we obviously didn't play perfect. We shot it well. But we gave up some untimely rebounds, turned it over too much, messed up a lot of our play calls, to be honest with you, and still found a way to win. And so that was kind of the message to the team after the game is, you know, the expression, there's still a lot of meat on the bone. You know, we're in sole possession of second place and still have a lot of room for improvement.
We've seen this team start to get a little more healthy than it was at the start of the season. Guys like James Stanton and MJ Whitlock getting out there a lot more. Can you talk about their role along with Trey Green? Because it feels like those three.
I'm glad you asked that question about those guys. We just said that in the locker room. MJ Whitlock came in there early in that game because of Trey Green's foul trouble. He picked up 2 quick ones. And if you've been pouting for the last 2-3 weeks, month, because you haven't been getting minutes, there's no way you can go in that game and perform. And these guys will tell you that dude brings it every day. He's improving. Part of the issue with it is because TG and AO are playing pretty good. And he starts the game at the 3. So there's a little bit of a logjam there for some of those guys. Some of those guys deserve more minutes than they're getting. But it's hard to get them in there, you know, based on the way other people are playing. But he doesn't duck his head. And went in there, got a big steal in the first half, the transition layup, and he's coming around. And then JD obviously broke his hand, had to have surgery, and now he's healthy. And getting those guys back just gives us depth and balance. And, you know, we're not looking down the bench and not having options. You know, as a coach, you want to have options, and they're playing well.
And Jobin, for you guys as players, how much more comfortable do you feel knowing that there's guys like that behind you guys that can step up and, you know, not only knock down the 3 ball like Trey can, but do some of those more gritty plays like diving out the ball and getting that turnover?
Yeah, it makes it super comfortable just knowing that if I'm not having my night or so-and-so is not having a night, we got guys that can come and reload. I feel like that's what makes our team so good. They're like James, Dan, Marcus every day, like they're bringing it. They're everyday practice guys. Like they're tough. When they get in here, they show it.
And then for you, it felt like there were a couple times that you were really able to kind of turn that corner when you were going downhill and be aggressive. Can you talk about how important that is for your game?
Yeah, I feel like I can get to the paint, you know, at will. I do. Yeah. I feel like when I'm aggressive, I can touch the paint and create for me or for others. One time I created for Kamari, you got just knocked down 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, just doing what I have to do.
I think the math is 6 games in 15 days. And you're finally going to go on a week break here before you go on the road to Jack State.
Yep.
You know, where's this team at? I guess physically, obviously, as a double overtime game. Where you at physically? Where you at mentally? What needs to be addressed going into Jack State?
Yeah, we just got to get cleaner with how we're executing on the offensive end. You know, we had 2 back-to-back games where we scored 58, 59 points. And then tonight we shot it well, but there were too many times where we didn't execute plays. Guys weren't on the same page. So there were some offensive possessions that looked a little janky out there. It's because not all 5 guys ran the same action, ran the same play. So we got to clean that up. It's nice to have a chance to get a little healthy with the bye week because we got a couple guys that are a little banged up. And then just the travel. There's going out to Mexico State on a Tuesday or UTEP on a Tuesday and coming back 2 flights to get here on Sunday. And it's not easy, but there's a lot of teams that have to do it. Teams all over the country are doing it. And the ones that stay together, stay tough, get healthy. That's the deal, like here in 8 weeks. Who's happy and who's healthy?
Mm.
When you're in March, who's still happy about playing and which teams are pretty healthy? If you got a little bit of talent, you're happy and healthy that second week of March, then you got to like your team. Thank y'all.
Good job,
Thanks,
guys.